hatcheries, he would have also attacked a little bit earlier. So never mind, because robotics facility coming down for Pure. Going to get observers out in the field soon. Quite a few Corsairs going to go around, cut some Overlords. 6, I believe, 6 Corsairs now going to start engaging. A couple of these Mutalisks are going to be forced to fly back. All those Hydras coming in, they are going to be forced away. Scourge coming in as well. They're going to be forced to fly back. Going to engage the Scourge. Going to engage some of these Mutalisks, but all those Hydras on the ground everywhere. So these Corsairs are not going to be able to accomplish too much. There are a lot of Overlords also on the ground there, and Zealot's now going to go engage the 6 o'clock base of ZerO. ZerO's going to be forced to defend that. I think he has enough, though. Lurkers coming in. Those Zealots are going to continue attacking. That hatchery now actually going to be blocked in by Hydras, and the Lurkers not going to be forced to run towards the left, where they eventually will run into a wall and face their doom. More High Templars on the field, and I honestly think Pure should not be morphing all those to Archons. Not going to lose those Zealots that was running towards the left. Oh, barely managed some of them to survive. But ZerO at this point has a huge army, a lot of Hydralisks, just managing to pump from all these bases, putting down a creep colony inside of his main as well, just in case. Just in case something happens. Might even be a spore colony. In fact, Hydra's now weapons 1 upgraded. And now going to be another engagement. Storms coming up. Nice storms from Pure, though. Going to be forcing ZerO back. That's what you got to do. Moving in with Zealots. He has an observer on the field. Has to just be very careful not to get those hit by Scourge. Is going to be forcing ZerO back a little bit. Lurkers and Hydras are going to run back. Even more forces ready, though. More Lurkers morphing in. Scourge in position to take out forces. Another storm coming in for Pure. Beautiful storm hitting a lot. Another storm hitting many Hydras. Oh, lots of storm for Pure. Getting off beautiful storms against ZerO here. ZerO going to push in again with one single Hydra. Just try to get positioning. Seriously, that's what ZerO. You're losing a little bit too many Hydralisks. Losing a little bit of positioning. Does have a 6 o'clock while Pure is picking up a base at the upper right hand. So economically, ZerO is a little bit ahead, but Pure has managed to equalize the damage, definitely, with some beautiful storming. 2 evolution chambers up for ZerO, so he's going to get full-on upgrades for his Hydra. He's going to go full-on Hydra. Still haven't seen a Queen's Nest for him, so he's just going to stick to Lair Tech. Actually going to expand the lower right hand now. Going to get 5 bases. After that, I assume he's going to be switching over to some Hive Tech. Not going for exactly what he went against Bisu here. It's a little bit different. Lots of Hydras on the field. Some Zerglings out. Should be building up a larger Zergling army. Yeah, does have quite a few Zerglings supporting now, which means that he probably has a Queen's Nest somewhere. Usually, most likely Hive Tech coming up fairly soon. Lair so far, don't see a Queen's Nest yet. There could be a Queen's Nest morphing there just outside the natural expansion. Still a lot of Hydras out in the field. Sunken colonies actually being put down. ZerO being careful, just getting more expansions, making sure that Pure can't, knock down his door. More pylons being added in, of course, more gateways fairly soon up for Pure as well, just building up an army. But ZerO's going to be able to take a quick economic advantage if he doesn't get one of his bases killed. If Pure manages to kill the 6 o'clock, maybe even the lower right hand, he's going to be able to take a huge advantage in this game. Doesn't have a huge army, but he has several Archons alongside his Dragoons and Zealots. Does have High Templar to support the Storm, and if ZerO keeps all of his forces bunched up, it doesn't dodge the storms well enough, he's going to get in trouble. Queen's Nest is on the way. We're going to see whether Hive Tech comes up, or whether Queens are going to come into the game. Lots of Zerglings on the field for ZerO as well, so he's playing, trying to use a lot of his minerals. Has a lot of excess minerals, most likely, at this point. Is getting the base to lower right. Another storm goes up, only hits one single lurker this time. Another storm hitting more lurkers, so at this point, Pure's just trying to clear the field a little bit, morphing in even more Archons, just using his storms just so he can morph Archon. Hive Tech is on the way for ZerO, so most likely not Queens. We're going to see some Cracklings and Defilers, and I think as soon as he has Defilers in the field... Oh, never mind, 1 Queen on the field. We're going to see what that's for. Only 1 single Queen. Another storm going off for Pure, but that was pretty much just invited by ZerO. Just, okay, waste a storm on me. I'm ready for you. More lurkers on the way, just 1 Queen, just waiting for some. Another storm going off, only hitting a couple lurkers, nothing much else, not killing the lurkers critically. Morphing into just Archons, and ZerO trying to move into defend, trying to move in to engage here. Pure is going to be forced back a little bit, trying to engage with his Archons. Dragoons attacking in range, all these Archons attacking with Splash. Hydra is trying to attack his own lurkers, not very close. ZerO's going to be forced back to the safety of his lurkers. That's really what Pure's got to do right now. He has those Dragoons so he can skip engaging the lurkers at close range, so he doesn't have to run that, because... ZerO has quite a few lurkers in play. Now we're going to have the Queen coming in. We're going to see what it does. Okay, Parasite going on that Archon, just so he can know where Pure's army is at all times. Of course, very important for him. ZerO now, at the lower right hand, has put down a base. Pure still on 3. Actually expanding at the 12 o'clock, but he's still a little bit behind. Hive Tech now up for ZerO, so he's going to have some Cracklings in play soon. I'm not quite sure if we'll have spotted a Defiler mound yet. but it's going to be in place soon. Defilers are going to really help him out at this point. Weapons 1 and Armor 1 upgrades for Zerglings. Hydralisk also had Weapons 1. Still only Weapons 1 for Pure. I'm not even sure if Weapons 2 is on the way. It would really help him out at this point. Archons with heavy weapons upgrades can do so much damage. So much splash, just as long as the Zerg is not allowed to completely surround them with Zerglings. One of those Archons has 14 kills. That pretty much show you their damage dealing capability. Another storm going off, hitting a couple Lurkers, and some of those Hydralisks. Another storm went off, but didn't hit quite as much for Pure there. He's going to be forced back a little bit, so that's pretty much all he has. But Crackling's going to go for this 12 o'clock, completely massacre it. Oh god, this is not what Pure wanted. To be forced to cancel that Nexus, and now he's going to be economically behind. You really needed that base. One Dragoon running red over Lurkers to try to save that, and Pure actually going to clear the middle here a little bit. He's going to have to, really has to do some sort of damage to ZerO. He has to go do some of those, take out some of those bases at the 6 o'clock, but those Cracklings in play are going to be able to run around, do a lot of economic damage, and just not really sure what it is that Pure can do. Yeah, it does have a Dark Archon in play, but he's just not allowed to go towards the 6 o'clock base, because ZerO has a perfect blockade. There are a lot of Lurkers, a lot of ground forces, High Templar alongside Archons and Dark Archons are moving out, so he's more likely going to try to Maelstrom something. But I think at this point, ZerO knows what's coming his way, because he did Parasite the one single Archon, unless he took it out as well. Defiler Den, I don't see any Defiler Den, just see a lot of hatcheries coming up. A lot of hatcheries at 6 o'clock, just ZerO trying to give himself a close resupply route. Corsair's going to scout this low right hand, instantly going to get killed by some Scourge. Oh, ZerO now taking the middle, so he's expanding all over the place. He's going to have such a huge army as Crackling some Hydralisk as the Lurkers, now going to take the middle. Pure is going to have to engage him here. He knows he has to. He has to prevent this middle from coming up. He has to... Oh, man, he's going to be forced back here. He has to take out this base to have even a shot here. The Dark Archon also has to come and place a Maelstrom soon. Storm's coming off, hitting some forces. Storm going off, only hitting the Nexus. I'm sorry, the hatchery. More storms off, not hitting too much. Another beautiful storm. They're finally hitting quite a few Hydralisks that time. And, okay... does clear pretty well, but so many Lurkers. Pure does not want to have to run headfirst right into those Lurkers. I mean, it's not like you're doing that with Marines where they get completely killed, but still, even with the Observers in the air, you don't want to have to engage those unless you can do it in range. ZerO moving in toward the middle, a lot of Lurkers actually moving in. Zerglings and Cracklings at the side. Storms did hit quite a few of those Lurkers, but the Cracklings are coming in very close, picking off some Archons, picking a lot of those ground forces, and Pure at this point has almost no army left, has a couple of Archons, few Zealots and Dragoons trying to run to the safety of his 12 o'clock where he puts down a lot of cannons. He's not going to have to hold with just a few Archons, losing one of his Archons. His Zealots go down. His Dragoons and Zealots are going down. Once the Dark Archon, I think the Cracklings are not going to be able to get to the... No, never mind. So he barely manages to hold, but at this point, so dangerous. More Zealots coming in, but Pure... very bad economic position at this point. Only at 3 bases, while ZerO is at 5. He's going to have his middle up soon. That's double the minerals. 2 mineral patches and 2 gases. That middle doesn't last economically very much, but still, ZerO now going to go for a drop. Oh god, that's a whole lot of overlords. He's going to go for the production. He has enough forces to hold Pure on the ground, and he's going to go for production. Storms not coming off. Oh man, High Temp are just ready, and this is going to be the final blow. ZerO not going to be able to take these. He's going to kill all the mining at the main. He's going to be able to take out the production. Does have enough. Cracklings all over the place, just running around everything. All the tech, pylons, robotic facilities down, weapons 2 and armor 2, Templar archives going down, starting off with all the tech and nothing whatsoever Pure defense. Trying to defend, has a couple of Zealots there, does storm a little bit. Dark Archon coming into play, but I just don't think he has enough. GG coming in from Pure. That was it. So ZerO taking the first set in Group H. Now, yeah, one step away from my predictions from Pure coming true. I honestly just don't think Pure has what it takes. He put up a pretty decent fight, but once ZerO was ahead on expansions, I think at that point, that was it. Pure held back for a while, pretty well, storming nicely, holding back, but he just didn't have the army size at the point and just did not expand as fast as he needed to do. And he really needed to do some damage to ZerO's expansion, which he didn't manage to do because ZerO held his ground perfectly with a lot of Lurkers. So beautiful play by ZerO. And he's now one win away from getting to the round of 8 yet again. We're going to see whether he manages to do even better than last season, or at the very least get to the semifinals again. Oh, and again, he's going to have either Flash or Quanru in the round of 8 to face off against. So, GG guys, thanks for listening, hope you enjoyed.